A sacred secret God entrusts only to you. Don't reveal it or risk losing everything. What God wants only you to know, the revelation and the price to pay. Are you aware that on this wondrous spiritual journey, the Almighty has graciously bestowed upon you revelations opeta, unique revelations? These are truths so profound, they are custom designed, meant for you and you alone. This isn't fleeting, trivial knowledge, but sacred secrets, precious gems gifted by God with intention to guide, illuminate, and protect you in ways you may not yet fully comprehend. But heed this paramount warning from Good Messages from Good. If these sacred truths are shared carelessly, indiscriminately, especially with those unsuitable, not on your frequency of faith, then the very foundation God has painstakingly prepared for you risks being shaken to its core. Before we delve deeper into this discovery, if these words resonate with your soul, stirring a deep sense of empathy, take a moment to comment the number 77 below. Let it be a powerful declaration of your faith, a sign that you are ready to receive. A word of gratitude and a message to the chosen ones. To the generous souls who have consistently supported our channel, Good Messages from Good, through the Super Thanks feature, we extend our heartfelt gratitude. Your generosity is truly an invaluable blessing, empowering us to continue our mission of spreading God's light and encouragement to those who need it most. O chosen one, let me ask you this. Have you ever experienced a moment where it felt as if unseen forces were deliberately working against you? Perhaps opportunities you thought were within your grasp vanished into thin air, or relationships you deeply trusted suddenly became sources of unexpected pain. Believe me, these are not random occurrences, not mere jests of fate. The spiritual truth behind unexpected challenges. Beneath the surface of these events lies a much deeper spiritual truth, a truth directly and intimately linked to what you choose to reveal outwardly, and what you wisely keep to yourself, like a treasure to be guarded meticulously. What I am about to share with you is not for the faint of heart, not for those easily swayed. This is a potent spiritual key, a gift from God designed to shield your sacred purpose and secure your magnificent, preordained destiny. This is not common knowledge, not easily found. It's not even meant for everyone to understand. But if you've ever felt that certain battles in your life seemed strangely personal, even targeted directly at you, you are not imagining things. The struggles you face are often tied to the divine, special favor God has bestowed upon your life, a favor many envy, and very few can grasp its depth. The secret lies in knowing when to speak and when to maintain absolute silence. The stakes are incredibly high, for this wisdom doesn't just shape your life. It protects the very essence of who God created you to be. Stay with me, because what you are about to learn here could forever change how you approach your spiritual journey. A sacred treasure to be kept in the heart. The secret lies not only in what you do or say, but also in what you keep hidden within your heart. The sacred confidences God has entrusted to you. These are not mere pieces of information. They are sacred treasures, bestowed to guide and protect you on every path. What if the very thing you are eager to share is the one thing that needs to be kept hidden, concealed from prying eyes and unready souls? What if your silence is your strongest shield, your most potent weapon? So, as we embark on this revelation together, prepare to see your path in an entirely new light. This message is not for the unready. It is for those prepared to embrace their calling with wisdom and steadfast intention. This secret is profound, and once you grasp it, there is no turning back. Let us explore this truth together, for it may hold the key to your next victory and the complete protection of all that God has placed within you. When careless words unleash storms, the cost of premature revelation. Etch this into your very soul, O chosen one of God, a vital message from Good Messages from Good. The sacred secret He entrusts to you is your strongest protective shield, your fortress against the tempests of this world. Never, ever rashly reveal it. When the chosen ones, souls bearing special grace, share more than necessary, or inadvertently lift the veil of secrecy covering their sacred matters, an unseen shift, a subtle transfer of negative energy, often silently occurs. Have you ever experienced the soul-crushing disappointment when a cherished plan, a dream you held dear, shatters before your very eyes, the moment it's revealed? This is no mere coincidence, no accidental misfortune. Spiritual secrets carry a sacred energy, a latent power. When exposed too soon, before their time of fruition, they are easily and dangerously misunderstood, unfairly judged, or even exploited by ill-intentioned individuals, turned into weapons against you. Contrary to the common notion that silence is a sign of weakness, in the spiritual realm, intentional silence is the hallmark of profound wisdom, a deep sagacity, a precious gem in the hands of one who knows not its worth. When God imparts something special to you, He is entrusting you with a crucial piece of His grand divine plan. Something exquisitely designed, complex, yet often beyond the comprehension of those around you. It's akin to placing a rare, priceless pearl into the hands of someone utterly incapable of recognizing its true value. What would happen to that pearl? It risks being neglected, forgotten, tarnished, overshadowed, or even tragically stolen. Let us ponder the classic story of Joseph in the Bible, Genesis 37. When Joseph, with all the innocence and fervor of youth, shared his dreams of greatness with his brothers, the response he received was not support or joy, but deep-seated envy and hostility. Instead of embracing and cherishing Joseph's vision, they plotted against him, thrusting him into the humiliating path of slavery. Although God ultimately used this very trial to fulfill His good purpose, it's undeniable that Joseph's premature disclosure of his sacred dreams triggered a tempest he was utterly unprepared to face. Would Joseph's journey have been less arduous, less bitter, had he held those dreams in the depths of his heart for a little longer? This question remains open. And sadly, how many times have we, like Joseph, unwittingly invited unnecessary trials, avoidable troubles into our lives simply by sharing sacred things too soon? Spiritual secrets hold boundless power, but that power is only truly unleashed when they are kept in their rightful place, safe, secure in the depths of your heart, and nurtured, watered daily through your intimate, private relationship with God. Sacred seeds, nurtured in silence or exposed to storms? Have you ever shared a significant personal goal, a profound spiritual insight you just received, only to be met with doubtful gazes, envious words, or even scorn and ridicule? Such negative reactions don't merely wound your emotions. They release a toxic energy, a negative field capable of hindering your progress, slowing your steps on your destined path, and disrupting God's perfect timing in your life. It's a hard truth to accept that not everyone around you is equipped with the understanding, spiritual maturity, or necessary appreciation to receive and honor what God has entrusted to you. Why is this? Because these divine revelations, these precious gems, are perfectly tailored for your unique calling. They are like a sacred script written exclusively for you and only for you. Sharing these spiritual treasures with an unsuitable, unready audience, a message often emphasized by good messages from good, is like flinging open the door, inviting negative forces and adversarial energies into your path, your cherished dreams, and the plans you are diligently working to achieve. The heart is a sanctuary, protecting God's treasure. Your dreams and plans are like delicate seeds carefully planted by God's own hand into the fertile soil of your heart. Just as a seed needs quiet, undisturbed conditions, free from disruption, to germinate, take root, and grow strong, so too do your spiritual secrets require a similar environment to be nurtured and developed. Imagine exposing a tender, fragile seedling to the harsh elements, scorching sun, torrential rain, strong winds, before it has even had a chance to root deeply into the earth. What would happen? That seed risks being destroyed, blown away, or crushed before the immense potential hidden within it has a chance to be realized. Now, be honest with yourself. Are there dreams you've hastily shared that in hindsight needed the protective silence of your heart more? Is God gently reminding you, calling you to guard these sacred treasures more carefully, more meticulously, and with deeper reverence? In Proverbs 4:23, we are powerfully reminded, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Your heart is a sacred sanctuary, the place where God deposits his promises and visions. Protecting these treasures doesn't mean you distrust others. It means you are honoring God's timing and infinite wisdom. After all, if even Jesus instructed his disciples not to throw your pearls to pigs, Matthew 7:6, should we not practice similar discernment with our own spiritual pearls? When you share too much, too soon, about what is sacred to you, it's like leaving a fragile, vulnerable seed exposed to fierce winds and harsh storms before it has a chance to sprout, bud, and grow strong. The hidden beauty of your journey and the true value of the sacred purpose you are pursuing may be entirely invisible to many around you. Some, due to a lack of understanding or empathy, and others, perhaps with hidden ill intent, may unwittingly or deliberately sabotage what you are striving to build. God calls us to be exceedingly cautious in what we reveal, ensuring his divine plan for our lives can unfold fully without unnecessary disruptions or obstacles. Spiritual armor. Don't create openings for the enemy. As one of God's chosen, you carry a profound spiritual weight, a sacred responsibility that not everyone can comprehend, feel, or bear. What God has graciously placed in your life, the graces, the visions, the missions, are deeply profound and hold extraordinary power. However, sharing too much too soon, especially with those not on your frequency of faith, can inadvertently create chinks, openings that invite opposition, unnecessary spiritual battles, depleting your energy and distracting you from your destined path. This is a core message from Good Messages from Good. Imagine your spiritual secrets as a suit of omnipotent armor, divinely designed by God to protect you perfectly. When you carelessly expose too many parts of this sacred armor, you are single-handedly creating weaknesses, vulnerable gaps, inviting the enemy's arrows of attack, and weakening your strong defensive barrier. The Apostle Paul wrote invaluable advice in Ephesians 6:11. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. This armor is not merely for visible battles. It is also a steadfast shield to protect the sacred truths and high callings God has entrusted to you. So, why would we willingly lower that protective shield by revealing too much to those who may not cherish or revere its sacred significance? A unique mission and its protective secrets. Your mission is unlike anyone else's in this world, and the secrets God has graciously bestowed upon you alone are an indispensable part of the unique way he upholds, preserves, and guides you throughout your journey. Have you ever experienced a moment when sharing a deeply personal goal or vision seemed to trigger a chain of unexpected obstacles and barriers appearing out of nowhere? Imagine excitedly telling a friend about a promising business idea, only to then face inexplicable resistance, unseen roadblocks suddenly materializing. Or perhaps you once shared a secret dream, a long-cherished ambition with a family member, and immediately felt a wave of skepticism, a cloud of negative energy, as if a cold bucket of water was doused on the fire of your motivation, gradually extinguishing it. These experiences are not random, not mere coincidences. They reflect a deeper spiritual reality. What is sacred contains sacred energy and invisible power, and exposing it to unready hearts, ill-intentioned souls, or even those harboring malicious intent can harm its potential for growth, weakening its ability to blossom and bear fruit. In Matthew 7:6, Jesus clearly warned his disciples, "Do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to pigs. If you do, they may trample them under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces. These words are a wake-up call, reminding us to be extremely cautious and discerning in choosing the audience for our revelations. What God has given you is sacred, a priceless pearl. Sharing it with those lacking the capacity or goodwill to honor its value is not only risky, but severely detrimental to your mission. Have you ever paused to ponder why some dreams seem to only flourish and thrive when nurtured in silence, in absolute secrecy? God's wisdom often comes through his gentle, whispering voice, guiding us on how to protect what is sacred until the right time, the right opportunity. What might happen if you began to treat your dreams and plans as priceless treasures, demanding the most careful, meticulous safeguarding? By keeping these sacred truths secure, you are allowing God to work silently behind the scenes, shielding you from unnecessary interference and firmly fortifying your spiritual journey. God's whisper, when silence is reverence. God, in his infinite wisdom and boundless love, often chooses to reveal his truths to us in ways that are profoundly private, intimate, and unique. These illuminations frequently arrive in moments of deep quiet, during heartfelt prayers from the depths of our souls, or through an indescribable sense of peace and certainty that he is near, watching over and guiding us. These sacred messages, from the Good Messages from Good Channel's namesake, are not only intended to guide, illuminate, and empower you, but they are also entrusted to you with a necessary confidentiality, a requisite discretion. When such sacred insights, these precious gems, are shared with someone not spiritually attuned to you, not on the same frequency of faith, the risk of losing that sacred connection, or worse, beginning to doubt the very authenticity of the message you received, increases significantly. This is the profound reason why not every spiritual revelation is meant to be spoken aloud, to be made public for all to know. Wisely discerning when to share and when to maintain absolute silence requires a close, intimate, prayerful relationship and an attentive listening to God's voice. The lesson from Elijah, power in subtlety. Let us reflect on how God communicated with the prophet Elijah in 1 Kings 19:11-12. Elijah, in his expectation, anticipated hearing God's voice in a mighty wind that tore mountains apart, in a terrifying earthquake that shook the ground, or in a fierce, consuming fire. But surprisingly, God did not choose those grandiose, ostentatious methods. Instead, he spoke to Elijah in a gentle whisper. This story beautifully illustrates that God often works in exceedingly subtle, discreet ways, entrusting his servants with messages that, though quiet, possess extraordinary power. Imagine if Prophet Elijah had misunderstood the significance of that sacred moment, or hastily shared it inconsiderately with someone incapable of grasping its importance and depth. Would that have diminished the impact, faded the meaning of the revelation? Before you decide to share any sacred insight, pause for a moment and ask your heart, does the person I'm about to share this with truly understand, truly appreciate what I'm about to say? If your heart hesitates, even slightly, consider keeping it to yourself. Not everyone possesses the spiritual maturity or necessary sensitivity to comprehend or rightly value the depth of what God has revealed to you. Silence, in this context, is more than a protective shield. It is an act of profound reverence. Choosing to protect God's secrets is a way you acknowledge their divine origin and commit to safeguarding the high purpose they carry. A steadfast wall, building faith through silence. Keeping a spiritual secret is not an act born of fear, but an expression of deep, unwavering faith. It demonstrates that your trust in God's perfect timing and plan is far greater than your need for validation, affirmation, or agreement from others. Consider it like building a strong, steadfast wall around the priceless treasures God has graciously placed within your soul. Just as Nehemiah persevered in rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem to protect what was sacred, Nehemiah 2:17-18, you too are called to meticulously protect the divine purpose sown in your heart. Have you ever considered that preserving a spiritual secret might itself be an act of obedience to God? When we choose intentional silence, we are creating a sacred space, a conducive environment for His plans to flourish and grow strong without interference, unhindered by unnecessary external factors. So, what specific steps can you take today to better discern what should be kept between you and God? By honoring His revelations with a quiet, steadfast faith, you are aligning yourself with His infinite wisdom, allowing His purpose to unfold fully in His perfect timing. Cultivating peace, protecting secrets honors God's trust. Protecting your spiritual secrets is a profoundly effective way to cultivate inner peace and tranquility, while simultaneously honoring the precious trust God has placed in you. By carefully guarding these revelations, you are demonstrating a commendable self-respect, acknowledging the unique journey God has designed exclusively for you. This act of preservation is not merely a wise choice. It is a clear expression of obedience to God, who calls you to remain focused on your sacred purpose, undisturbed and unhindered by unnecessary distractions or obstacles from the outside world. This is a truth often highlighted by good messages from good. The secret God has given you is not just a gift, it is your steadfast shield, your greatest protection. By guarding it meticulously, treating it with deep reverence, you are opening the door for God to lead you to unimaginable blessings, opportunities far beyond what you dare to dream. The sacred key: power lies in discretion. Consider how often we tend to seek protection from external sources. We turn to friends for advice, rely on human strategies, or depend on our own physical or mental strength. However, for those chosen by God, souls bearing special grace, the most potent and effective form of protection lies deep within. It is the sacred secret God has entrusted to you. This secret is like a sacred key, a divine code known only to you and Him. It is a true reflection of your spiritual identity, the detailed blueprint for the purpose He has inscribed in the depths of your heart. So, why would you risk exposing this priceless treasure to the prying eyes of the world? Just as Jesus frequently withdrew to solitary places to pray, to preserve His intimate communion with the Father, Luke 5:16, we too must cultivate silence, discretion, and caution to protect the sacred things God has given us. Silence, in this context, is not about hiding or cowering in fear. It is about clearly recognizing the unparalleled value of what you carry and striving to protect it from forces and influences that might seek to diminish, tarnish, or even derail it. Silence is a weapon, disarming negativity, strengthening resolve. Have you ever noticed that silence, when used wisely, can disarm negative energies, dispel clouds of doubt, and firmly strengthen your resolve? It is truly a powerful weapon, an invisible shield protecting what is most precious without needing confrontation, without resorting to futile arguments. In Proverbs 21:23, we are profoundly reminded, those who guard their mouths and their tongues keep themselves from calamity. This timeless wisdom underscores the paramount importance of choosing words carefully, especially when those words pertain to the sacred secrets God has placed deep within your soul. Your spiritual secret is more than a mere piece of information. It is a divine strategy, perfectly tailored specifically for your journey. It carries the weight of the purpose God has ordained for your life, making it a potential target for misunderstanding, envy, or even spiritual opposition. By guarding it carefully, you are aligning yourself with God's protection and perfect plan. So, what specific steps can you take today to honor the trust God has placed in you? Could it be that silence, in this season of your life, is the very key to unlocking your next breakthrough? What a new blossoming in your spiritual journey. Trust in the sanctity of that secret and in God's promise that He will lead you to places far beyond your richest imagination. Facing curiosity, silence as a sacred strategy. Have you ever noticed that some people seem overly curious about your life, constantly asking probing questions or hastily offering subjective judgments and opinions? While some of them may appear well-intentioned and caring, the true intentions behind such actions are not always pure and good. This is precisely why silence becomes more than a mere habit. It ascends to a sacred strategy, a shield of wisdom, protecting you from negative energies, unjust criticism and judgment, and harmful influences. This is a key insight often shared by good messages from good. The Bible, with its timeless wisdom, has repeatedly reminded us of the immense power of silence. Proverbs 17:27-28 teaches, "The one who has knowledge uses words with restraint, and whoever has understanding is even-tempered. Even fools are thought wise if they keep silent, and discerning if they hold their tongues." For those chosen by God, souls carrying sacred secrets, silence is not merely a self-protective measure. It is an essential, indispensable aspect of spiritual discernment and divine protection. The heart is a treasure chest. Who has access? Imagine your heart as a sacred vault, perfectly designed by God Himself to hold the precious secrets He has entrusted to you. Like any vault, it can only be opened with the correct combination. The sacred treasures stored within, dreams, revelations, profound spiritual insights, are all intended to be kept safe, absolutely secure. But have you ever paused to ask yourself, who truly has access to this sacred space, to this priceless treasure of yours? The people around you, those you interact with daily, are they genuinely aligned with God's plan for your life? Do they share the same frequency of faith, the same reverence for sacred things? If the answer is no, or if you feel even a slight hesitation, then perhaps it's time for you to seriously reconsider your boundaries and the extent to which you are willing to share your rich yet incredibly fragile inner world. Not all knowledge, not all understanding is meant for widespread sharing, and discernment is the golden key. Recall how Jesus chose to reveal His teachings. While He spoke openly in parables to the crowds, the deeper truths, the secrets of the kingdom of heaven, were reserved for His disciples, those He knew could understand, bear, and continue His mission. In Matthew 13, verse 11, Jesus explained, "Because the knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom of heaven has been given to you, but not to them." This clearly shows that even divine wisdom requires careful consideration of the recipient. Silence allows God to work unseen. Silence also allows God to work silently, powerfully in the unseen realms, in places where the naked eye cannot perceive. When we speak too much, too freely, we often inadvertently invite unnecessary complications, unwarranted opposition into our lives. Have you ever shared something deeply private, profound, only to later regret the reaction you received? Perhaps you felt unfairly judged, harmfully misunderstood, or even betrayed by the very person you trusted. These painful experiences, though unpleasant, are valuable reminders that silence is a tool for both protection and wisdom. By keeping sacred matters, spiritual secrets, between you and God, you are creating a safe environment, a protected space for His plans to unfold fully, according to His will and timing. Ask yourself, whom do I allow close to my heart? Do they truly uplift me, align with God's purpose for my life? Or do they bring doubt, distraction, and negative energies? Not everyone needs to know your every move or hear every revelation God has placed within you. Trusting in the value of discretion isn't about closing your heart to everyone. It's about honoring the sacred, intimate relationship you have with God and ensuring His treasures are preserved for the right time and the right audience. Silence, when chosen wisely, can become your most powerful ally. The test of discernment. Do your words glorify God or feed the ego? One of the most profound and frequent spiritual challenges faced by God's chosen is learning to accurately and wisely discern between what should be kept hidden, concealed in the protection of silence, and what can or even must be shared. Before you utter any word, especially those concerning your spiritual journey or sacred revelations, take a precious moment to pause, take a deep breath, and sincerely reflect. What I am about to say, will it truly glorify God, contribute to His good plan? Or is it merely driven by personal ego, by a desire for recognition, praise, or to satisfy some personal need? This thoughtful pause is a practice encouraged by good messages from good. If the honest answer from the depths of your heart affirms that the words honor God and serve His higher purpose, then speak boldly, courageously, and clearly without hesitation. However, if it stems from pride, misplaced self-importance, or if it reveals a weakness, a vulnerability that others could exploit to cause harm, then perhaps the wisest course is to keep it just between you and God. The life and death power of the tongue. Words shape spiritual battles. The Bible, a treasure trove of divine wisdom, frequently reminds us of the power and far-reaching consequences of our words. Proverbs 18:21 starkly affirms, "The tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit." This is an incredibly serious reminder that the words we release into the world, whether intentionally or unintentionally, have the potential to shape, even determine, the spiritual battles we face. When you reveal too much too soon, you may inadvertently invite envy, jealousy, or negative energies and ill intentions into your life. These external forces can create unnecessary distractions, weaken your fledgling faith, and significantly slow down the spiritual journey you are striving to walk. Have you ever noticed that a moment of joy, a surge of elation, or a powerful inspiration, newly kindled, can quickly change, even vanish, immediately after you share it with an unsuitable person, someone not on your frequency of faith or goodwill? This is no mere coincidence. Not everyone around you truly desires the best for you, nor is everyone spiritually mature enough to bear, understand, and appreciate the weight of the special calling you, as a chosen one, carry. A priceless treasure. Silence as an invisible shield. View your spiritual secrets as treasures of immeasurable value, rare and unique gems. Protect them as carefully as you would guard the most precious jewel in your collection, always aware that the less you reveal, the less room there is for spiritual attacks, for external sabotage. Silence, in many cases, is not merely a sign of wisdom. It becomes an invisible barrier, a steadfast shield protecting you from unnecessary harm and danger. In Psalm 141:3, King David offered a meaningful prayer. "Set a guard over my mouth, Lord. Keep watch over the door of my lips." This prayer profoundly reflects the importance of divine discernment and restraint in speech, especially for those entrusted with sacred purposes, with high callings. A supportive environment. The role of those around you. The people around you play a pivotal role, deeply influencing your spiritual journey. Some individuals will uplift, inspire, and encourage your growth in faith and purpose. Meanwhile, others may, intentionally or unintentionally, sow seeds of doubt and fear, shaking your convictions and hindering your progress. Have you taken the time to seriously consider and evaluate those in your closest circle? Are they truly aligned with your spiritual vision, sharing your aspirations and goals? Or are they silently, slowly pulling you away from the perfect plan God has for you? Surrounding yourself with people who share your values, who understand and appreciate the weight of the calling you bear, will significantly strengthen your ability to protect what is sacred, what is precious. Trust is a sacred currency, and not everyone is equipped to handle or receive the truths of your mission. Only those who genuinely value and revere your purpose can be trusted to hear even small pieces of that divine calling. Recall the shining example of Mary, the mother of Jesus, who treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. She deeply understood the importance of keeping sacred revelations concealed, preserving them in reverent silence until the opportune moment. Can you imagine the peace, focus, and strength you would possess if you learned to guard your own spiritual treasures in a similar manner? Align yourself with those who inspire your growth and encourage your walk with God. By doing so, you are building a strong fortress of faith around the sacred secrets entrusted to you, ensuring your mission remains undisturbed and God's plan can unfold fully without any external interference. Entrusting to God, prayer is the safest haven. One of the most powerful and practical ways to protect your spiritual secret, a method often emphasized by good messages from good, is to entrust it completely to God through sincere and persistent prayer. There is no safer haven, no stronger sanctuary for your hopes, your fears, and your hidden plans than the omnipotent and loving presence of the Almighty. When you bring these matters before His throne, presenting them with a heart of trust and surrender, you are not merely protecting them from prying eyes or ill intentions. You are also opening yourself to receive divine guidance, His illumination on how, when, and with whom to share these things, if at all. Prayer not only strengthens your discernment, making your spiritual intuition keener, but the Holy Spirit, as your steadfast and unwavering counselor, will faithfully guide you, helping you clearly recognize which moments require speech and which demand absolute silence. The wisdom of waiting, learning from Jesus and Nehemiah. Imagine this scenario. You are diligently working on an important project, a work of great significance to your life, or you have just received a profound insight, a meaningful revelation from God. The excitement, the elation about this illumination fills your heart, and the temptation to share it immediately with those around you seems almost irresistible. However, it is precisely in such moments that divine wisdom gently urges you to pause, to consider carefully. Ask yourself, the people around me, are they truly capable of understanding, empathizing, and more importantly, supporting what God has shown me? Often, sharing too soon, when the plan is not yet clearly formed, when the foundation is not yet solid, can inadvertently expose your vision to unconstructive criticism, baseless doubts, or negative energies that can derail your focus and shake your faith. Jesus himself taught the value of discretion and focus on private communion with the Father. In Matthew 6, verse 6, he said, "But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you." This teaching profoundly underscores the power of working and praying in secret, in stillness, trusting completely that God will reveal the fruits of your silent efforts in His perfect timing. Silence, in such moments, is not a sign of fear or weakness. It is a strategy of wisdom. When Nehemiah embarked on the great task of rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem, he kept his plans secret, not revealing them to anyone until the opportune moment. In Nehemiah 2:12, he recorded, "I had not told anyone what my God had put in my heart to do for Jerusalem." By strategically maintaining secrecy, Nehemiah avoided unnecessary opposition from adversaries and successfully executed God's plan effectively, unhindered. Similarly, when you keep your spiritual secrets, cherishing them in the protection of silence, you are shielding them from the doubts and negative chatter of those who may not share your faith or fully understand your vision. Awaiting God's reward, trusting in perfect timing. Have you ever faced criticism or skepticism that weakened your will, that shook your resolve? Imagine the peace, focus, and strength you could maintain if you allowed your plans to grow silently, nurtured under God's omnipotent protection. By keeping them concealed, not displaying them until they are truly ready to be revealed, to shine, you are aligning yourself with His wisdom and perfect timing. This is not about hiding in fear. It is about honoring the sacred preparatory process, a necessary incubation period that God is undertaking in you and through you. God has promised that what is done in secret with an upright heart and sincere faith will be rewarded openly, gloriously. Trusting in this principle allows you to focus all your mind and energy on the work God has entrusted to you, without being distracted or sidetracked by external factors. Take a moment to reflect. Are there areas in my life where silence, patient waiting, might be the key to unlocking the progress, the breakthrough I've been longing for? By surrendering your plans to God in prayer and trusting completely in His timing, you are not only protecting your spiritual secret, you are also positioning yourself to receive the precious rewards, the great blessings that only He can bestow. Your greatest shield, a symbol of devotion, the power of the sacred secret. O chosen one, know deeply that the secret God has graciously placed within you is not merely your greatest shield. It is also a profound symbol, a powerful testament to your unwavering devotion and commitment to the divine purpose He has mapped out. This secret from good messages from good is more than protection from the enemy's schemes, from the arrows of negativity. It is a sacred testament, a living witness to your faith and obedience. By keeping it concealed, not boasting, not revealing it carelessly, you are demonstrating absolute trust in God's perfect timing, knowing with certainty that He Himself will unveil His wondrous work in your life when the moment is divinely appointed, when all is ready. In the stillness of your faith, in the patient waiting of your soul, God performs miracles, transforming the invisible into the visible, causing His glory to be brilliantly revealed through the very silence you maintain. The core of your calling. Protection is a sacred responsibility. This sacred secret is not an ordinary gift, not mere knowledge or a piece of information. No, it is the very core of your calling and life's purpose. It holds the detailed blueprint, the precious map of what you were created to accomplish in this world, the imprints you are destined to leave. Choosing to protect this secret carefully with all reverence is an act of profound responsibility, not only for your own protection, but also for the complete fulfillment of the sacred mission God has entrusted to you. Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds us of an eternal truth. There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. Revealing something too soon before its time has come can disrupt its purpose, spoil its outcome, just as surely as never revealing it when the time is ripe. Are you wisely discerning the time God has appointed for the treasures He has given you? Are you patiently awaiting His season? The lesson from Mary: wisdom in silence and trust. The Bible contains countless shining examples of those who trusted in God's timing and persevered in protecting what was sacred until the opportune moment. Let us once again contemplate Mary, the mother of Jesus. After the angel Gabriel revealed her great divine purpose, she did not rush to proclaim it to the world. Instead, she treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart, keeping them close, cherished, and trusting completely in God's plan. Her silence was not fear, but profound wisdom, a powerful testament to her faith that God would unfold His will in His perfect way and in His perfect time. How would your journey change if you approached your sacred secret with such quiet trust, such steadfast resolve? God never bestows great responsibilities upon those unprepared to protect them. The secret He has entrusted to you is clear evidence of your value in His eyes, of your worthiness to bear that calling. Faith is a declaration, transcending the need for validation. Protecting something so precious requires more than mere silence. It demands unwavering faith, a deep trust in God's plan, even when you cannot see the full picture. When you resist the urge to reveal this secret, you are making a powerful declaration that your trust in God is far greater than your need for validation, understanding, or applause from others. This act of faith creates a sacred space, a protected environment for His plan to flourish and grow strong, even when you cannot fully see the path ahead. Do you trust God enough to hold on to the unknown, the ambiguous aspects, with unwavering conviction that He will reveal them at the appropriate time? By protecting the secret, you are aligning yourself with His purpose, showing that you are a ready vessel, an instrument prepared to carry out His will. As you walk in this obedience, you are not only preserving what is sacred, you are also paving the way for wonders, for miracles to be manifested in your life in ways that far exceed your richest imagination. Let this secret forever be your shield, your weapon, and your living testament to the greatness of the God you serve. Not mimol. Everyone is ready. The wisdom in choosing whom to share with. We often feel a strong urge, an almost instinctual need, to share our achievements, our promising future plans with those we love and trust, hoping to receive encouragement, support, or at least understanding from them. However, a crucial truth we must always remember, a point often emphasized by good messages from good, is that not everyone is prepared to receive, cherish, or positively support the sacred purpose God has graciously placed in your life. Protecting your secret, in this context, becomes an act of faith, a powerful declaration that you completely trust in God's supreme sovereignty and perfect timing. You trust absolutely that He Himself will reveal what needs to be known at the most perfect moment to the right person who needs to hear it. Prayer, the conduit to divine discernment. Prayer is the sacred conduit, the direct path through which you can access infinite divine wisdom, seeking illumination and clarity on when to speak and when to maintain absolute silence. Before you decide to share anything, however small, related to your sacred secret, take a quiet moment to offer your thoughts and intentions to God through sincere prayer. Lord, is this the time you want me to share? Is this the person you have chosen to listen? Sometimes, the silence you perceive in His response, the deep stillness in your soul, is His gentle way of urging you to continue guarding your secret a little longer, to patiently await clearer guidance. Through prayer, you not only receive precious discernment, you also strengthen and deepen your intimate connection with God, enabling you to recognize and avoid spiritual pitfalls and enemy schemes that may be lurking ahead. Lessons from hurt, the value of discretion. Have you ever shared something deeply private, a profound piece of your soul, only to taste the bitter pain of betrayal or unfair judgment? Perhaps you once revealed a cherished dream, a sacred moment in your life, believing it would be safely received and treasured. But then, you painfully discovered that the person was entirely unready to receive it. Or worse, they exploited your trust, using what you shared against you. These moments, though incredibly painful and difficult, are not merely negative experiences. They are invaluable spiritual lessons, intricately designed to teach you the value of discretion, caution, and discernment. As Jesus taught in Matthew 10:16, be as shrewd as snakes and as innocent as doves. This delicate balance between the wisdom and cunning of the serpent and the innocence and purity of the dove is crucial for protecting what God has entrusted to you. The power of restraint, words and consequences. Contemplate how frequently the Bible emphasizes the power and importance of restraint in speech. Proverbs 13:3 tells us a profound truth. Those who guard their lips preserve their lives, but those who speak rashly will come to ruin. This timeless truth reminds us that even seemingly well-intentioned words, if not carefully considered, can lead to unforeseen consequences and unnecessary troubles. By holding back what is sacred, what is not yet time to be revealed, you are creating an invisible protective boundary around the treasures God has placed in your life. How would your journey change? How much more peaceful and focused would it become if you learned to pause, pray, and discern carefully before deciding to speak? Painful experiences of misplaced trust are not meant to crush you. On the contrary, God allows them to sharpen your spiritual perception, making it more refined. Like Joseph, whose sacred dreams were mocked and misunderstood by his own brothers, Genesis 37. You too may face betrayal or lack of understanding when you share too soon. However, God's purpose for Joseph was not diminished. It was fully accomplished in his perfect timing. Could it be that God is gently asking you to continue nurturing your dreams in stillness, in the protection of silence, trusting completely that He Himself will reveal them at the most perfect moment? By protecting your secret, you are aligning yourself with God's wisdom and avoiding unnecessary spiritual battles and futile energy drains. Let prayer be your constant guide, anchoring you firmly in faith and helping you accurately discern when to speak and when to remain silent. What specific steps can you take today to ensure that the sacred things in your life are preserved for God's timing? Always remember, not everything precious needs to be shared. Sometimes the greatest acts of faith occur in quiet trust, in private communion between you and God. A precious gem needs special protection, your sacred secret. Just as a rare pearl, a priceless diamond, demands special protection, careful handling, and heightened vigilance, so too does the sacred secret God has entrusted to you require a unique and equally diligent care and watchfulness. Never underestimate its value, nor ever be lax in guarding it. This is a core teaching from Good Messages from Good. Solitude is a gift. Time for God to refine you. Solitude, a state often misunderstood as a burden, something negative to be avoided, is in reality a cleverly disguised sacred gift. It is in the quiet moments of solitude, when you detach yourself from the noise and bustle of the outside world, that God can speak to you with unparalleled clarity, deepen your intimate communion with Him, and equip you with the spiritual armor necessary for the battles and trials that may lie ahead. When you feel alone, isolated, remember that this is not a sign of abandonment or distance from God. On the contrary, it may be a divine separation, a purposeful arrangement by Him. God is gently shielding you, protecting you from influences, temptations, and negative energies that could endanger the high sacred purpose you carry. Embrace these seasons of stillness, these periods that seem to be just you and God, as precious opportunities for spiritual growth, to further deepen your trust in His perfect plan. It is in this silence that your faith is forged, your will is strengthened, and your soul is purified. Words carry power to build or destroy. Your words harbor immense power, a latent energy that can either create good things or conversely destroy what is precious. Words can invite blessings and graces to flow into your life, or they can inadvertently open doors to spiritual opposition, to the infiltration of negative influences. This is precisely why meticulously guarding the secret God has given you is so crucial. By speaking too soon, too hastily, about something He is still silently working on, still in the process of forming, you can unintentionally expose your life to impure energies, malicious intentions, or unwanted interference. The protection of your sacred purpose begins with the careful choice of your every word. Silence, in many cases, becomes your strongest shield, an invisible defensive barrier preserving God's work until the right time for it to be revealed, to shine brightly. Proverbs 21 verse 23 wisely affirms, "Those who guard their mouths and their tongues keep themselves from calamity." How much more peace and serenity could you maintain if you consistently practice this wisdom in your daily life? Consider this. Wise as serpents, beware of envy and sabotage. Envy is one of the most insidious and dangerous forces that can target those carrying a sacred purpose, a special calling. When you share too soon, when the results are not yet clear, you risk attracting envious eyes, jealousy, or even deliberate acts of sabotage from those who do not wish to see you succeed. This does not mean you must live in constant fear, always suspecting everyone. Instead, it means you need to walk in divine wisdom, always alert and vigilant. Jesus Himself instructed His disciples to be as shrewd as snakes and as innocent as doves, Matthew 10. This delicate balance between strategy, cunning, and innocence, purity, is the key to protecting the high, sacred calling hidden within you. How different would your journey look? How much better protected would it be if you approached your purpose with such discernment, wisdom, and strategic shrewdness? Timing is golden. Patiently await perfect revelation. Timing is an essential element in every aspect of life, and the revelation of your secret is no exception. By keeping it concealed for now, not hastily displaying it, you are allowing God to silently prepare the ground to create the most favorable conditions for its perfect, complete unveiling. Imagine a flower blooming out of season. It might possess a fleeting beauty, a brief brilliance for a moment, but it will soon wither and fade because it wasn't truly ready, because the surrounding conditions were not suitable. The same principle applies to the secrets, the sacred seeds God has planted within you. Be patient and trust completely in His perfect timing. Ecclesiastes 3 left reminds us, He has made everything beautiful in its time. Could it be that your waiting, your silence at this moment, is part of the divine process, a necessary phase to ensure your purpose blossoms brilliantly, completely, in its fullness? Every trial a lesson, divine preparation for destiny. Every betrayal you've tasted, every disappointment you've borne, and every season of solitude and stillness you've persevered through, all are invaluable lessons, intentionally designed by God to teach you the value of guarding what is sacred, what is precious. These experiences are not random, not meaningless. They are an indispensable part of the divine preparation God has reserved exclusively for you. This perspective is often shared by good messages from good. Each painful moment, each arduous trial is a tool He has used to refine your character, to hone your soul, and to prepare you most completely, equipping you with sufficient strength and wisdom to protect the most precious, most sacred things in your life. Look back on your past with a heart of deep gratitude, recognizing that even the most difficult times, the seemingly insurmountable phases, were all skillfully woven by God into His grand plan, aiming to strengthen your faith, fortify your will, and solidify your determination. How would your perspective change, becoming more positive and powerful if you viewed every trial, every adversity as a divine training ground, a crucible designed specifically for your magnificent destiny? By honoring the lessons from the past, drawing precious experience from bygone encounters, you will step confidently into the future, fully equipped to preserve and guard the treasures God has graciously placed in your life. Divine confirmation, you are part of something greater. Let me speak directly to your heart, to your deepest soul. The secret you carry within you, it is more than a mere mission. It is a divine confirmation, an indelible mark that you are part of something far greater than yourself. Something eternal, something transcendent, surpassing all limits of this visible, material world. This is why, a profoundly important reason, you must keep it concealed for now. The enemy cannot break, cannot disrupt, cannot hinder what remains hidden, what remains under the protection of silence. By carefully guarding this sacred truth, you are not only protecting yourself from unnecessary harm, you are also preserving the divine purpose, the perfect plan God has for your life. The time to shine, nothing can stop God's plan. At the appointed time, at the perfect moment known only to Him, God Himself will draw back the veil of secrecy, will Himself reveal what has been kept hidden, what has been nurtured in stillness. And when that glorious moment arrives, no power in heaven or on earth, no obstacle, however great, can stand, can hinder His omnipotent and good plan. Until that day, until that glorious moment, commit to yourself that you will persevere in prayer, you will stand firm in trust, and you will carefully protect what is most sacred, most precious, hidden deep within your soul. The spiritual journey you are walking is both a priceless privilege and a demanding trial. It requires sharp discernment, divine wisdom to protect the treasures God has entrusted to you. Some secrets are more than mere knowledge. They are spiritual keys unlocking doors to your life's purpose, to the complete fulfillment of your calling. However, if these keys are shared with an unsuitable person, someone not on your frequency of faith, someone harboring ill intentions, they can lead to unnecessary failures, unneeded opposition, and confusion and bewilderment in your mind. Recall the times in Scripture when secrecy played a pivotal, decisive role in accomplishing God's plans. For example, when God guided Moses' mother to hide him in a basket along the Nile. Her discretion, her caution, ultimately saved Moses' life, and more importantly, set the stage for the Israelites' deliverance from slavery. Similarly, protecting your secret ensures that nothing can interrupt, nothing can derail the sacred path laid out before you. Today, I want to equip you with 3 powerful spiritual tools to help you guard these sacred secrets, firmly strengthen your spiritual walk, and protect your precious divine energy. What I share here could be the turning point, the crucial pivot between stagnation and deadlock, and the complete fulfillment of the destiny God has given you. Therefore, I earnestly implore you to listen with an open heart, with a receptive spirit. But most importantly, grasp these principles and consistently apply them to your life. Are you ready to take this crucial step, to commit to protecting what God has placed within you? Always remember, this is not merely about protecting a secret. It is about securing the firm foundation for your purpose and ensuring God's plans for your life unfold fully in His perfect timing. Spiritual tool number 1, strategic silence, when stillness is prayer. The first tool, and perhaps one of the most foundational and powerful, is strategic silence. O chosen one, a message often underscored by good messages from good is that you must always remember a crucial point. Not everything requires an explanation. Not every action needs justification. No, and not every revelation needs to be made public. How many times have you felt compelled, almost as a natural reflex, to justify your actions, to share some insight simply because it seemed important, impressive, or because you craved agreement or recognition from others? Let me remind you of a profound truth. Silence is more than the absence of words. It is a potent form of prayer, a sacred space where God acts. When you choose to remain steadfastly silent in the face of probing questions, or meet doubts and criticisms with inner stillness, you are actively creating a sacred space, a safe buffer zone for God to work silently behind the scenes, shielding your divine purpose and preserving your precious energy. Silence, in this case, is not a sign of weakness, helplessness, or fear. On the contrary, it is a deliberate act of inner strength, allowing you to maintain control, mastery over the spiritual treasures God has entrusted to you. Every word carries energy, a latent power, and speaking without divine guidance, without illumination from God, can be as dangerous as flinging open the gates of a fortified castle without discernment, without knowing who stands on the other side, friend or foe. Strategic silence is about sharp discernment, about knowing precisely when to speak, when to share intentionally, and more importantly, when to hold back, when to cherish sacred things in the protection of stillness. In the spiritual realm, silence is more than mere restraint. It is an atmosphere, a conducive environment where God moves and acts freely and powerfully. The power of silence, the lesson from Jesus. The Bible has repeatedly demonstrated the extraordinary power of silence in moments of great spiritual significance. When Jesus stood before Pilate, unjustly accused, condemned by false testimonies, he chose silence instead of trying to defend or justify himself. In Matthew 27:14, the Bible records, "But Jesus made no reply, not even to a single charge, to the great amazement of the governor." This silence of Jesus was not weakness. It was a divine strategy, an absolute obedience, allowing the Father's great plan of salvation to unfold fully, unhindered by human words. Could your silence today serve a similar purpose? Could it create the necessary space for God to act in ways far beyond your understanding, far beyond your imagination? Many spiritual battles you face often originate from misplaced words, from inconsiderate revelations. The enemy is always listening carefully to what you declare, what you share, looking for loopholes, weaknesses to exploit, to attack. When you practice strategic silence, you are actively closing those loopholes, mending those breaches, and firmly strengthening your defensive barrier. Silence is active protection. Silence is not passive. It is active protection, a conscious act. It shifts the focus from your words to your actions, allowing the fruits of your obedience, of your silent efforts, to speak more eloquently than anything you could say. In Proverbs 17:27-28, we are once again reminded, the one who has knowledge uses words with restraint, and whoever has understanding is even-tempered. Even fools are thought wise if they keep silent, and discerning if they hold their tongues. This timeless wisdom profoundly emphasizes the extraordinary power of choosing silence purposefully. Make this a habit in your daily life. Before you answer a question, especially personal ones, or before you share something deep and sacred, pause for a moment. Ask your heart, does this glorify God? Does this protect my sacred purpose? If the answer from the depths of your soul is no, then choose silence. In doing so, you are aligning yourself with God's infinite wisdom and creating a strong protective barrier around the sacred calling He has placed within you. Let your silence be a prayer, your restraint a testament to your faith, and your discretion a steadfast shield for your mission. Spiritual tool number high, the fortress prayer, a steadfast shield, a source of infinite wisdom. The second practical tool, an indispensable spiritual weapon in the arsenal of the chosen, is the fortress prayer, a steadfast protective shield, and simultaneously a flowing spring of infinite wisdom. O chosen one, as good messages from good often reminds us, always remember that your words carry latent power, but when those words are directed straight to God, they are transformed, elevated into invincible spiritual weapons capable of piercing all barriers. Before you decide to share anything, however small, related to your sacred secret, or even before you consider with whom to share, take a quiet, sacred moment to offer all your thoughts and intentions to God through sincere prayer. Through this simple yet profoundly deep action, you are inviting His wise guidance and omnipotent protection into the situation, enveloping you and what you cherish. A prayer like the example below can become your daily spiritual armor, an impregnable fortress. Almighty Father, strengthen my heart, grant me sharp discernment that I may clearly understand what should be spoken and what must be kept hidden in the protection of silence. May all my words serve the sole purpose of glorifying your name, and may no sacred secret be revealed before the perfect time you have ordained. Amen. This prayer is not merely a collection of arranged words. It is a potent spiritual shield. When prayed with a sincere heart, unwavering faith, and a pure intention, it will guard your heart from seeds of doubt, shield your mind from confusion and bewilderment, and create an invisible barrier against those who approach you with impure motives or ill intentions. Building a solid foundation through prayer. Through prayer, you are not merely expressing your faith. You are actively building a solid foundation, a steadfast wall for your spiritual life. It is a constant reminder that God is your supreme protector, the one who holds the power to open and close all doors, and the only one with the authority to choose when and how to reveal the truths He has entrusted to you. The Bible frequently emphasizes the paramount importance of seeking God's will before making any significant decision. Proverbs 3 verse 5-6 clearly advises us, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. This golden rule applies incredibly powerfully and directly to the act of sharing, especially sharing sacred things. By praying first, You are placing God at the center of every decision, allowing His infinite wisdom to guide your every word and His omnipotent protection to shield your divine purpose. Avoiding mistakes, finding peace in God's guidance. Consider how many common mistakes could be prevented by the simple habit of praying before acting, such as hastily trusting someone unworthy of your confidence or inadvertently exposing yourself to unnecessary dangers and hurts. How many times have rash words, hasty speech, or misplaced trust led to regret and lingering remorse? Imagine the profound peace and serenity that comes from knowing with certainty that every decision you make, whether big or small, has been fortified, enveloped by prayer, by the presence and guidance of God. When you make God the gatekeeper of your every word, you are ensuring that His timing and purpose will always be prioritized, will always prevail. Never underestimate the power of prayer, especially before any significant decision, particularly those concerning the sacred treasures God has graciously placed deep within your soul. Let the fortress prayer become a daily ritual, an indispensable habit, an infinite source of strength, guarding your spiritual journey and aligning all your actions with God's holy will. By doing so, you are transforming every moment of uncertainty, of hesitation, into a precious opportunity to further deepen your trust in Him and in the divine, perfect plan He has for you. Spiritual tool number 3, the circle of trust, true spiritual allies. The third practical tool, an indispensable supporting bulwark, is the creation of a circle of truly trustworthy individuals. O chosen one, a vital insight from Good Messages from Good is to always be aware that not everyone who enters your life harbors pure intentions or wholesome motives. Although God, in His providence, will place the right people on your path to help you fulfill your divine purpose, He also allows challenges and people who bring difficulty to appear in order to strengthen your discernment and spiritual sensitivity. Building a list, whether mental or more concrete, of those who genuinely deserve to hear your hidden plans, to share your deepest confidences, is absolutely essential. These individuals are not merely companions on life's journey. They are true spiritual allies. Those who will pray for your success without any ulterior motive, who will rejoice and exult in your victories without a hint of envy, and who will stand steadfastly by your side in faith, no matter how difficult or challenging the circumstances. Identifying allies. Observe the fruits of their character. To identify these trustworthy allies, pay close attention to the fruit of their character, as Jesus taught in Luke 16, verse 10. Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much, and whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much. Observe how these individuals handle small matters, everyday responsibilities. Do they act with integrity, honesty, and loyalty? Trust is not easily given. It is built, cultivated through consistent behavior over time and through trials. Sometimes, ironically, those who seem closest to you, those you consider most intimate, may not be the most suitable to guard your spiritual secrets. Observe carefully, subtly, the small signs, the sometimes very hard to detect expressions. How do they react to your successes? Do they genuinely rejoice, sincerely blessing your growth? Or do they show signs, however fleeting, of envy, jealousy, or even a simmering, unspoken rivalry? Do they genuinely care about your spiritual journey, your inner growth? Or do they only seek opportunities to criticize, to discourage you, or to sow seeds of doubt? A true spiritual ally will never compete with you. Instead, they will uplift you, pray for your prosperity, and encourage you to always stay on track, always aligned with the divine purpose God has for you. Pray for discernment of hearts. If you ever feel uncertain or doubtful about someone's intentions, do not hesitate to turn to prayer. Earnestly ask God to reveal what is hidden, to illuminate your understanding so you can clearly discern the hearts of those around you. In James 1:5, we are firmly promised, If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. This wisdom will help you effectively guard the sacred secrets entrusted to you. Failing to protect your secrets can lead to serious consequences, unnecessary losses. Carelessly shared, thoughtless words can sow envy, create harmful misunderstandings, or even invite spiritual attacks and interference from unseen forces. The Bible warns us of this danger in Proverbs 11:13. A gossip betrays a confidence, but a trustworthy person keeps a secret. Spiritual discipline, protecting purpose, strengthening the journey. Choosing confidants, trustworthy companions, is not merely a matter of personal preference. It is an important spiritual discipline, a deliberate act aimed at protecting your divine purpose and firmly strengthening your spiritual journey. Take time to seriously reflect on your relationships among those around you who consistently uplifts, supports, and inspires you. Who prays for you without expecting any reciprocation or recognition? Those are the people worthy of your trust, those you can consider sharing pieces of your heart with. By building a circle of true, God-ordained allies, you are creating a safe space, a protected environment where you can share, grow, and confidently walk in your calling. Guard your secrets wisely, for they are the keys to fulfilling the purpose God has laid out before you. 3 golden keys: unlocking success, closing off risk. To truly advance on the path of fulfilling the purpose God has given you, you must master and fluently practice 3 crucial principles. 3 golden keys, often highlighted by good messages from good. 1. Know precisely when to maintain absolute silence. Always pray earnestly before taking any significant action or decision. 3. Place your trust only in those who have genuinely and consistently proven their loyalty and trustworthiness. Protecting your secret is not merely a practical step, a wise strategy. It is a sacred act aimed at safeguarding the high mission God has entrusted to you. When you guard the sacred truths given to you, you are creating an invisible shield, a strong protective barrier around the calling God has placed on your life. Applying the tools. Simple yet extraordinarily effective. Applying these spiritual tools to your daily life is actually much simpler than you might think. Begin by consciously practicing strategic silence. Resist the urge, the temptation to share impulsive thoughts or unnecessary details about your spiritual journey. Silence, when used wisely and with clear purpose, becomes a steadfast protective fortress, a safe haven for what is most precious. Incorporate the fortress prayer into your daily routine, especially before making important decisions or embarking on significant steps in your life. Let it become a natural reflex, a firm anchor whenever you face uncertainty or trials. At the same time, regularly review and reassess your circle of trust. Ensure that only those truly guided by God, those who share your frequency of faith and reverence, have access to the most precious parts, the most sacred aspects of your heart. These small yet consistent actions, when performed regularly, will gradually build a strong spiritual fortress, protecting your life from unnecessary battles, futile distractions, and negative external influences. Faith manifested through protection. O chosen one, understand deeply that protecting your secrets is more than a mere strategy. It is a clear manifestation of unwavering faith. By guarding what God has revealed to you, you are showing that you value His purpose for your life above all else, even above the need for recognition or momentary comfort. These 3 tools, strategic silence, the fortress prayer, and a carefully selected circle of trustworthy individuals, are your spiritual weapons in the unseen battles you face on your faith journey. When you apply these principles consistently and sincerely, you will begin to notice a positive change, a distinct shift in your spiritual journey. You will find yourself shielded, protected from forces and influences that seek to derail or discourage you. The invisible treasure. the power of direct connection with God. Take a moment for deep reflection. Have you ever considered that deep within you, there exists something untouchable, something far beyond what this visible material world can comprehend or measure? This secret is your direct, unbreakable connection with God, a strong spiritual bridge fortifying your faith and shaping your life's purpose. It is not intended for the world to fully understand, and that is precisely why it must be fiercely protected with all caution and reverence. This divine connection is like a sacred flame, burning intensely within you, yet skillfully concealed from prying eyes, from those who seek to extinguish it or exploit it for impure purposes. In the Bible, Jesus said, "For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." Your secret is not a material possession. It is a priceless spiritual treasure. It is the very core essence of your calling, the solid foundation of your destiny, and the unshakable strength that helps you overcome all of life's storms. Guarding this treasure means you are honoring the sacred, intimate bond you share with God, allowing it to grow, blossom, and develop strongly under His care and omnipotent protection. Imagine this sacred flame within you, blazing with intense brightness, yet safely shielded from curious onlookers, critics, and those who might seek to discredit or diminish your journey. By protecting this flame, you are allowing God to act in His perfect timing, revealing His purpose when it is truly ready to shine for His glory. What specific steps can you take today to honor and protect this priceless treasure hidden within you? Trust that as you protect your secrets, God will empower and guide you every step of the way, ensuring your divine purpose remains intact and unstoppable. Inviolable. The sacred secret cannot be bought, sold, or traded. The sacred secret you carry within you, a truth often echoed by good messages from good, cannot be bought, sold, or carelessly traded like common merchandise. It is holy, it is inviolable, and it must be protected with utmost care in the safest place, which is deep within your heart. Just as a sturdy vault is designed to guard rare gems and priceless treasures, you too are called to protect your divine connection with the same vigilance, the same devotion. God's word clearly warns us in Matthew 6:19-20. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven. What does this mean? It means your spiritual connection, your sacred secret, must be absolutely protected from spiritual thieves, forces, individuals, or negative influences that seek to rob you of your peace, faith, and trust in the purpose God has for you. When you guard this secret meticulously, it becomes a strong fortress, an unbreakable citadel, shielding you from forces and influences aimed at derailing your journey and weakening your will. Indestructible faith, strength beyond all circumstances. The core essence of this secret is your unshakable faith. It is the steadfast, unwavering belief in God's promises, even when all surrounding circumstances seem to scream the opposite, even when darkness seems to envelop you. It is the deep inner conviction that your life carries a specific divine purpose, a meaning that transcends the mundane, even when you face a world filled with doubt, slander, and attempts to shake your foundation. This faith is not meant for everyone to see, understand, or feel. When you hold it close, allowing it to grow silently in the stillness of your soul, it will become stronger, more steadfast, and ultimately, it will become a formidable shield, a strong defensive barrier against all doubt, all negative energy, and all spiritual attacks. Keeping this faith hidden does not weaken it. On the contrary, it strengthens, refines, and purifies it. In the deep stillness of your heart, that faith will grow, soar, becoming a guiding beacon, an unquenchable source of light, illuminating your path even in the darkest nights, the most challenging phases. Have you ever experienced a moment when your faith seemed to be the only thing left, the sole lifeline helping you move forward, even when everything around you felt incredibly precarious, chaotic, or broken? That is the extraordinary power of a protected faith, a beacon of hope that cannot be extinguished, cannot be subdued. The lesson from Mary: reverence in silence. Not everyone around you is capable of understanding the depth of what God is doing in your life. Some may belittle your journey, try to distract you from your goal, or even deliberately sabotage the sacred work God is building within you. Sharing your faith indiscriminately, without discernment, with those who cannot appreciate its sacred nature will inadvertently expose it to unnecessary attacks and unwarranted hurts. This is why protecting your secret is not about concealing truth. It is about preserving it from those unready to receive it, those not mature enough to understand. Mary, the mother of Jesus, once again provides us with a powerful example of this wisdom. After the shepherds shared their divine encounter with the angels, Mary did not rush off to tell everyone. Instead, she treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. Mary deeply understood that some revelations, some sacred truths, are meant to be kept hidden, to be pondered, and to be nurtured in private intimacy with God. She did this not out of fear, but from a profound reverence, clearly recognizing the weight and holiness of what had been revealed to her. O chosen one, you too are called to protect the sacred treasures God has graciously placed in your heart. This act of keeping the secret is not only wise, but deeply reverent. It acknowledges that some truths are too precious to be exposed too soon, before their time. It allows God to silently mature and perfect His plans within you, and then reveal them at the most perfect moment. By protecting your faith and your divine connection, you are demonstrating absolute trust in His timing and your unwavering commitment to His high purpose. Can you imagine the peace, steadfastness, and strength that comes from keeping your faith protected, allowing it to grow unshaken by the chaos and bustle of the outside world? Just as Mary honored the divine revelations given to her, let your reverence for what God has entrusted to you guide all your actions. Protect your secret, nurture your faith, and trust completely that in God's perfect timing, His glory will be brilliantly revealed through your very life. The solid foundation of your mission, invisible strength from the sacred secret. Your sacred secret is the solid foundation of the mission you bear, an invisible strength, unseen by the naked eye, yet fully equipping you to accomplish the divine purpose God has ordained. Many around you may wonder, may be curious, how you can endure arduous trials, how you can rise above seemingly insurmountable adversities, and how you can continue to press forward with unwavering determination and unfading hope. This powerful truth is a cornerstone of good messages from good. What they cannot see, cannot comprehend, is that your strength does not come from external factors, but flows from something hidden deep within. An intimate, inseparable connection with God, a sacred bond cultivated and preserved in stillness. Like the unseen roots of an ancient tree, though no one beholds them, it is these roots that silently draw nourishment, supporting and nurturing the entire tree, allowing it to stand firm, majestic, and bear fruit even in the harshest storms and most difficult weather conditions. By carefully guarding this divine connection, you are strengthening, fortifying your greatest source of power, enabling you to thrive, to rise, and to shine in places where others might have faltered and given up. The power of silence, a divine strategy for protection and growth. God, in His infinite wisdom, has woven extraordinary power into silence, into purposeful stillness. The secret you are keeping is not merely a protective shield. It is also a divine strategy, perfectly designed for your unceasing protection and growth. When you preserve your faith and spiritual connection within the sacred sanctuary of your heart, those who seek to understand superficially, or worse, to disrupt and sabotage, will find no point of entry, no crevice to attack. You become like a well-defended city, an unshakable fortress, inviolable by external forces. This guarded mystery possesses a unique beauty, a sacred allure that only you and God share and behold. It is a holy bond that the outside world, with its material measures and limited thinking, can never fully comprehend, unravel, or decode. Honoring your calling. Silence is a proclamation of faith. O chosen one, keeping this secret transcends mere personal protection. It is an act of profound reverence and an honoring of the high calling God has placed upon your life. By choosing to keep your faith and spiritual connection away from the prying eyes, judgments, and contrary opinions of others, you are demonstrating an incredibly deep trust in God's perfect plan. This decision powerfully declares your understanding of the immense stature of the purpose you bear and your willingness to protect it at all costs, with all caution and wisdom. Just as Nehemiah diligently rebuilt the walls of Jerusalem to protect what was sacred, to ensure the safety of God's people. Nehemiah 2, verse 17-8. You too are called to build a strong spiritual wall around your divine mission, protecting it from negative influences and external attacks. What truly matters, what holds the deepest significance, is your recognition that this secret is your greatest protection and simultaneously the key to always staying on course, always aligned with God's purpose. Guarding it is not about hiding in fear, evading reality. It is about preserving something incredibly precious with wisdom, discernment, and steadfast faith. In Proverbs 4:23, the Bible wisely counsels us, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Your heart, the safe vault for this sacred secret, is the wellspring of your strength, courage, and alignment with God's will. Protecting it carefully ensures you will always remain steadfast on the path He has laid out for you, never straying, never deviating. When you keep this secret, you are positioning yourself to be unshakable, inviolable, and fully prepared for the glorious future God has designed exclusively for you. Revelations shared too soon, too hastily, are vulnerable, easily destroyed. But revelations nurtured and guarded with wisdom, patience, and faith are transformed into eternal strengths, unbreakable foundations. Recall the example of Mary, the mother of Jesus, who kept sacred revelations close to her heart, treasuring them in reverent silence. Luke 2:10. Her wisdom and patience allowed God's plan to unfold at the most perfect moment, undisturbed, unhindered by external factors. How would your journey change? How much stronger and more meaningful would it become if you applied the same reverence, the same discipline? By preserving this sacred secret, you are honoring God and protecting the high destiny He has entrusted to you. Every moment of silence, every act of discernment, and every sincere prayer is strengthening the solid foundation of your mission. Always remember, what is revealed too soon risks being lost, but what is protected with wisdom will endure forever. In this way, you are glorifying God, upholding your divine calling, and confidently advancing towards the purpose He has prepared for you. Guarding your inner sanctuary, the power of discretion and faith. As we draw this profound message to a close, I earnestly invite each of us to take a moment to seriously reflect on the unparalleled importance of keeping certain things hidden deep within our hearts. Not everything is meant for widespread sharing, even with those you consider your closest, most intimate friends. Some secrets carry the weight of the sacred mission God has entrusted to you, and revealing them too soon or to unsuitable individuals, unready souls, can inadvertently hinder, slow down, or even derail the perfect plan God has mapped out for your life. This final thought comes from good messages from good. Always remember the precious teaching in the Bible, Proverbs 4:23. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Guarding these sacred truths is not only an act of wisdom, it is also an act of faith and absolute trust in God, allowing Him to protect, shield, and safely guide you on the path He has ordained, a path leading to fulfillment and glory. Silence is wisdom, opening doors to blessings, closing doors to danger. To all of God's chosen noble souls listening to this message today, know with certainty that keeping silent about certain matters is never a sign of weakness or fear. On the contrary, it is divine wisdom, profound sagacity. It is a humble acknowledgement that God's almighty hand is covering you, guiding you, and His ways are always higher, far beyond our limited human understanding. By purposefully maintaining discretion, you are opening the door to receive His outpouring blessings, and simultaneously, you are ensuring that no weapon forged against you will prevail. Isaiah 54. The world may not understand your silence, may judge or criticize, but your Father in heaven, who sees everything in secret, will recognize your obedience and will reward you fittingly in His own time. Joining hands to spread the light, support the mission, and connect with the community. If this message from Good Messages from Good has touched your soul, inspired you, or brought some blessing into your life, we humbly invite you to consider supporting our work through the Super Thanks feature. Your precious contribution, whether large or small, allows us to continue our mission of spreading God's word, touching more hearts across the globe. To those who are able to contribute, we send our heartfelt thanks. For those who are not in a position to do so, your prayers, likes, and shares are also an invaluable blessing to us in ways words cannot fully express. Please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to our channel, Good Messages from Good, and share this video with others who may need this message of encouragement and wisdom. Your interaction helps this community grow stronger and allows us to reach more lives with the light of Christ. We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Which part of today's message truly spoke to you, touched you most deeply? As you continue your day, may God cover you with His boundless grace, strengthen you on your faith journey, and fill your life with His unshakable peace. You are deeply loved, and we sincerely thank you for being a part of this faith family. Stay tuned for more messages of hope and inspiration from Good Messages from Good. Until next time, may God bless you abundantly in all that you do. Be blessed and highly favored.